Hello! A new devlog was released by the developers of the Isle, featuring a preview of new content they've been working on. I'm really excited for everything I saw here, and I wanted to share it with anybody who might have missed it, seeing as a lot of this is going to be in our hands with the next update. The Dino sukis water sense passive ability has been adjusted to only appear for prey that swim on the surface of water. This was done so that both juvenile Dino sukis and Beipi have more effective ways of escaping an adult Dino sukis, making for some interesting cat and mouse scenarios between the two playables. Honestly, probably one of my favorite updates to come to the Dino sukis in a while, because now it shouldn't have a overpowered ESP hack. Obviously, one of our favorite creatures in the whole existence of everything, the Dryasaurus, has a dodge ability. Instead of just running around and spamming dodge until your stamina has been completely consumed and frustrating everything around you, it now has to be used strategically, featuring only 2 charges until it's cooled down. It's not a new skill, but at least we know that there's going to be a change to it, and it's going to be changed so that it takes time to recharge to use this ability as well, but they're not really quite sure how long it should take. It appears they're not too shy when it comes to the gateway map as well. My most anticipated creature for the next update, Ceratosaurus, has a charge bite ability. The longer you charge the attack, the more damage it will deal. The better it'll sound too, because this thing sounds incredible right now. I'm getting goosebumps. This will also deal an increased amount of bacteria to the target, meaning you do not need to land as many bites to cause them to vomit. Of all the upcoming creatures, the Ceratosaurus is my most anticipated, because to me, I feel it has the most unique characteristics that I like. Ceratosaurus is basically the honey badger of the Isle. Its skin is really thick, and it's going to be really difficult to apply any meaningful damage, even by creatures that are larger than themselves. It also has an innate stronger resistance to bleeds, and it has a temporary bleed reduction until sufficiently wounded. And while eating as the Ceratosaurus, it becomes immune to damage beneath a certain threshold, allowing it to completely brush off minor attacks and harassment from smaller animals. The Cerato is also very noteworthy because it's teeming with bacteria. Primarily, its mouth is. From rotting corpses, it's consumed. Excessive damage from the Cerato can cause creatures to vomit uncontrollably over time, including things larger than itself. And the only way to cure that is finding a salt lick or waiting out the effects. If any of you have been following our favorite river dolphin, which if you're paying attention right now, you'll notice how it's supposed to walk around on the floor of this river, and it looks amazing. And you've already seen that this creature is able to breach the surface of water, similar to a dolphin. So they wanted to take this a step further and allow the ability some use in game. So luckily, you won't be drowning, because it's going to restore some of your oxygen when you perform it. And I really like the idea of that, because this creature underwater, if it drowns easily, if you don't have a quick way to get to the surface, I mean, it's a very hindering gameplay mechanic that people probably won't enjoy or feel frustrated by. So the idea of having a special that we can use to get out of water for a second and grab that quick gulp of air if we're running away from something or anything like that, I think that's great. I have noticed in a couple of these clips black boxes as well. I'm assuming that's just to block developer information from public site. And finally, the recently teased Gallimimus, when grouped, has a mobilize ability. When performing a broadcast, all members within a close proximity will receive a speed boost for a few seconds. And if it's timed right, this can allow for a large group to maintain the speed boost by stacking their broadcasts. Oh, that does come at the cost of being obnoxiously loud to any nearby predators. On top of all of this, we were also teased a clip of the Troodon hunting at night. I'm going to take a moment and just see if we've missed anything and show you this absolute work of art. Also, the footage you're seeing here was created by developer Cerato. They stated in the devlog, this was created as a way to practice future creation of content using a theme of VHS, terminal, or an old analog look. And in all honesty, I would expect this to be heavily used once they start breaking into the lore of Evrima. A lone Tenanto is grazing in the dead of night. Unknown to it, it's surrounded by a group of them. Troodon is a small venomous predator. What it lacks in size, it makes up for in a potent punch. It's not inherently that dangerous alone, but if you find them in packs, they become incredibly disruptive. And when coordinated, they can bring down prey many times larger. Mind games are part of the hunt. If you can scare something, you can also make it irrational. If you have to face a Troodon, the last time you want to do that is at night, only really rivaled by the Dilophosaurus. But you see, Dilophosaurus merely adopted the dark. The Troodon was born in it. molded by it. And a bite from nowhere. If you watch closely, you'll see a Troodon just pounce the Tenanto. And without a doubt, venom is setting in on that Tenanto. The Troodon is such a small creature, it's difficult for the Tenanto to pinpoint where any of them are in this large group, and as a result, it tries to escape instead of fight. Unfortunately, the venom has taken its toll. The last of the Troodons run in to finish the prey. And if you can't tell already, that Tenanto is now extinct. Next, we have the Gallimimus, which is characterized as a group-focused animal that is bolstered by the strength of its flock to escape predators at speed and migrate across the island. Unlike most animals, the Gallimimus seeks to remain in perpetual motion for its safety, and they have a tremendous capacity for speed at distance, but they're very slow to accelerate, slower than most inhabitants of the island. Gallimimus was also slightly altered to give it more intersectionality with the expanding roster and introduces some windows of vulnerability not yet seen. We already know they plan on adding a special ability with the Gallimimus where it will get a speed boost if it broadcasts. The interesting thing is their dietary change though, because some animals view Gallimimus as an ever-present threat to their young. You see, it has a diet that primarily consists of vegetation, but they've made the change and they want the Gallimimus to be more of an omnivore that will feed on the eggs of other dinosaurs. It'll also hunt little frogs, crabs, some hatchlings of certain species, so on and so forth. I think that's a terrifying change with the Gallimimus because, so the only way I can put this into perspective is one day I was browsing YouTube and I found a video of a horse eating a chick. I couldn't believe what I was seeing because I didn't know a horse could even eat meat. And like, yeah. This is the devlog right here, and I just wanted to go down through this page real quick. However, before we do, I did want to take a moment and show you the producer of the Isle's YouTube channel. A video was suggested to me a while ago, and it caught me off guard, but it appears that Kissing Kitten, the producer of the Isle, has been uploading very small snippets. Their last upload up until now was 2 years ago. And then 2 weeks ago, they became active again and started uploading. Now, I don't want to imply anything because I mean, there's clips of hypos and stuff like that here. I don't want to say this is all brand new content that we've never seen before. Like, honestly, this could be just old animation that they were planning on using in the past that they just never got around to messing with, and now they're doing stuff with it. Though I did think it was pretty interesting that out of nowhere, a clip of a Rex swallowing a Dryo whole became relevant. Likewise, the cannibal is also posted on the channel, which many of you have probably forgotten about the cannibal by now, and this is just its idle animation. I think it's so strange that within the last 2 weeks, this stuff was uploaded out of nowhere or made public so people could see it. A lot of these creatures, too, we've seen are using legacy skins, which are no longer used. So honestly, whether there's any meaning behind any of this or not, I don't want to say for sure because I don't want to spread misinformation or the wrong information. I did want to note though that as I progressed through this set of videos, as I got to the newer creatures and more updated stuff, they did appear better. Up to the point where we're getting to this stuff, the Evrima content. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section about this discovery, and break down each section into a quick TLDR. The new option to enable and disable dinosaurs on specific servers through the admin panel is being worked on. During the playtest of Gateway a couple months ago now, I believe, we were able to see some of the environmental art, and now we're seeing even more of that through their environmental artist, Visual Tech 48. What we saw was pretty impressive during the beta preview of Gateway, and I think it's going to be even better once we jump back into the world and experience these assets in a better looking way. And it seems they've already been transitioning assets to Nanite and using the new features of UE5. Tapwing, the 2D artist, has also been hard at work with brand new concepts. This one is the Maya, and considering how a Maya would use its body weight or how it would interact with the environment, anywhere from stomping a Dilophosaurus to holding its own against a Carnotaurus ramming at full speed, Mayasaurus is proving to be the water buffalo of the Isle, and just not care. The other side of being a good parent means defending the hell out of your offspring, even as a vengeful mother lizard. And then we have Deinonychus, and interestingly enough, it compared next to a Suko. Anatomically, it's a mix of clunk and elegance, which is an interesting combo of characteristics to find poses for. I think the main focus here is they wanted it to look very dominant when holding its own in its native environment. The way it interacts with the world and the fact that this creature will be in swamps, and mainly a swamp setting, I believe points towards the idea that there's going to be a major overhaul to swamps and how water physics are handled in the future. Moving down, we see how other creatures will handle night vision in the Isle, and I very much welcome the Dryasaurus because at least if I'm playing as that, you'll be able to see what I'm doing at night. A lot of bug testing has been happening, and they've been working on fixing a lot of the issues within the game engine. And unfortunately, there is nothing further to show you on the Troodon other than when it was hunting the Tenanto. The venom still needs a little bit more work.
Help me.
And now it's up to you. Give me your thoughts down below in the comment section about what you've seen in this video and what excites you most for the update.